Everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're based at. Thank you for joining us today at the Celo Huobi Stablecoin in Web3 and Sustainability session. Today, we are really going to focus more on how you can get started building on Celo and Huobi, which is both our partners for the hackathon today as well. Before I will bring in all our speakers in to do their individual sharing, I'm just going to quickly share who we expecting to hear from today. Brandy, who is a developer relations from Celo, along with Champin from Huobi's Stars Lab, will be joining us today. Unfortunately, Liang Qing is unable to make it today, but we have all the right people to kind of do the sharing today as well to get you going for the hackathon in general. So before we invite them in, let me just do a really high level sharing of what the hackathon is really about. And basically, this hackathon is really largely going to be focused about the utility of stablecoins with three different challenges that we are looking at. Number one would be a stablecoin with BF solution integration, where we can focus on areas such as expanding the use of Celo dollar, which is CUSD in short, to emerging markets with high rates of inflation, or to kind of explore payment tools and middleware for this particular challenge as well. The second challenge is how we can actually integrate stablecoins with DAOs, including credit-based finance crowdsourcing platforms, venture DAOs, and even decentralized charity in this case as well. So there are some ideas that can get you started on screen that you see, really much more about credit loaning, collateral lending for financially undeserved groups. But if not, you can also look at how on democratic funding to meaningful causes such as climate change and education. The third track, we're looking at the integration of stablecoins and DeFi mobile solutions. This is just generally about integrating a Web3 component into DeFi, and some of the ideas you can really look at that you can see on the screen will be DeFi with Earn, mobile DeFi with SocialFi, or DeFi with interoperability as well. So in this hackathon itself, we have a large pool of prizes that we're really looking at. We're giving up to 16 different prizes and a prize pool of 500,000 CUSD. They'll be given away for the various winners for this hackathon in general. So each of the challenge statement, we are going to award a challenge winner, which they are going to walk away with 50,000 CUSD, a hackathon swag box, and also listing opportunity on Huobi Exchange. For each challenge statement, there will also be 3 runner-ups walking away with 15,000 CUSD, and the most innovative teams or projects ideas that have been submitted for each challenge statement will also walk away with 5,000 CUSD. So this hackathon in itself, as you can see, is actually stablecoin in Web3, but also sustainability as well. The idea here is, while Celo really holds sustainability really close to their heart, we will also like to see some form of impact and change that could really take space with regards to any of these sustainability efforts that could impact the entire ecosystem in general. So what we have up online as part of the 500,000 CUSD pool, it's actually to introduce what we call a climate change bonus. So a pool of 100,000 CUSD is actually up for grabs for any teams that have decided to integrate any form of climate change or carbon credit into their ideas as well. And these teams will actually be walking away an additional 5,000 CUSD that will be awarded to them. And this pool will be given up till, it kind of draws out completely as well. So what we really want to encourage all of you over here is really to look at how you can create an impact, not just in the Web3 ecosystem, but really have a look at the sustainability efforts that can be integrated into your ideas as well. And both Huobi and Celo over here will really love to see the innovative ideas and projects that you can come up with during this hackathon period as well. Of course, there is an overall grand prize, a large pool of 100,000 CUSD that will be awarded for the best team across all the 3 challenge statements that we're looking at. Similarly, this overall grand prize winner will have a listing opportunity on Huobi Exchange as well. So the stakes are huge. There are lots of prizes that you could kind of qualify yourself with. And with this 4 weeks of hackathon period, we have lined up lots of content to get you going, to help you understand basically setting context, hearing from investors' perspective, just to up your game when it comes to creating the project for the submission. But most importantly, you also get lots of resourcing and help to guide you along when it comes to building of the project as well. So we have lots of events, as I mentioned earlier on. We actually have one that talks about Web3 sustainability. And today is really about how you can get started building with Celo and Huobi. Upcoming next, in the later part of the week, we do have an investor's perspective. It's a panel discussion. Then there are other sessions about mobile first resources for mobile and web apps that you can look at as well. So stay tuned. Looking forward to all your participations along the way as well. So the next key question that I'd like to address before I pass on the time to Brandy is really on how you can really get started as well. Basically, registration for the hackathon is your entry ticket for everything that I've mentioned above, including qualifications to get awarded for your team's submissions. You'll get lots of resources, content, and help that's going to take place on Celo's Discord server accordingly as well. So if you have your mobile phone, really just right beside you, grab it and scan the QR code that you see on the screen. Basically, it will take you to the registration form to sign up for the hackathon. Next couple of steps is really to just keep you in check of the announcements, all the community events is going to happen during the sessions, including mentor office hours. So join the Discord server and save the hackathon calendar, which is going to be in the participants guide that will be sent to you the moment you have actually successfully registered for the hackathon. Last but not least, we have curated a special list of resources to get you started, get you going, and it's great for varied level. Even if you're really new to the space, you have just started your journey as a developer, or even you have been a developer for a while, we have different content and resources to help you going along. So, Brandy, I guess now it's the opportunity for you to take on the stage to share a little bit more from Celo's point of view. What are some of the help, resourcing and toolings to kind of get people going as well?
Excellent. Thank you so much, Justin. Super excited. If you haven't joined up on the hackathon, you're a developer, maybe you came from Web 2 and you're curious about Web 3, like this is the opportunity, right? Like the hackathon just recently kicked off, 4 weeks, great amount of time. Really, there's a lot of time there to make an impact with the project. So we do look forward to each and every one of you. Of course, we care about our community and we want everybody to scale, right? And that's really what these hackathons are about, is providing opportunity and allowing support for scaling as your project matures through its iterative cycle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just kick off of the screen share. Justin, it looks like I need permission to go ahead and share a screen.
Let me get it sorted for you.
Excellent. Well, bear with us 1 minute here. We're going to get access, because what I want to do is I prepared a quick little slide deck that's going to go through our developer tooling, which is really geared towards just getting you started, like getting you in the know about what you can use, what's available, and really about the fastest way to get started for the hackathon. Okay, so it looks like it's working. Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you. All right. So developer tooling. This is all about tools that we have available, documentation, share some resources, yeah, let's kick it off. So first and foremost, I just want to share, like, Celo is a fork of Ethereum. Celo went to the mainnet on Earth Day 2020. And this is like true to Justin's statement that It's kindled strong to the heart of Celo in regards to climate initiatives, being focused on ways to continue the trend with being carbon negative, not just carbon neutral, but carbon negative. So it was really important for Celo to take advantage of April's launch back in 2020, specifically on Earth Day. So huge shout out to Celo ecosystem for the launch. It's been rock solid since, and a lot of things have changed, especially for the tooling. But the reason why it's important and why I started off with the fork of Ethereum, like ecosystem wide, all the various projects, layer 1, layer 2s, the different offerings out there, it's really about coming together. It's like better together, right? And that's why it's also as important that Celo invested in the community to produce things like having efficient bridging available between chains. But this slide right now, this is all about EVM general purpose tooling. And the reason why I wanted to share about this is because when you're working on your project and you're looking for resources, and I know I've done this a lot, like I have some wild ideas that come to my head, I'll communicate with other team members. And the first thing I want to do is start looking up, has somebody done this before? What would be the least path of resistance? This is the power of the Ethereum virtual machine, is that by being EVM compatible, you get granted access to all the historical toolings, right? That's Ethers.js, Web3, frameworks like Hardhat, Truffle, online resources for testing your smart contracts and Remix, of course, MetaMask, Solidity, Open Zeppelin, all their contracts fully compatible. Everything that has been available for EVM is available for you with Celo, and that's what we considered EVM general purpose tooling, because it is general purpose, right? You need to connect up with a Web3 provider, and then you would set up your network parameters, and then you utilize the provider to call, interact with smart contracts, and other various things that you want to do with transactions. Like, they're fully compatible and by far one of the most least paths of resistance to getting started with your project. I do want to talk a little bit more about some other things, but just know on my screen right now that I'm sharing is I have a QR code here that's specific to this list that has been curated by a team member, Jason. Jason created a fantastic list of general purpose tooling that helps support you on your path for your project to make an impact. And of course, it's all about least path of resistance. So it was really important for me to give this link to you. Also, the URL can be found right there in the bottom right-hand side of my screen. Okay, moving forward. Sorry about that. Moving forward, Contract Kit. So Contract Kit is essentially our general purpose library. This is geared towards Celo, and the advantage of Contract Kit is that it gives you all the fantastic things with a standard Web3 object like you would be accustomed to with like Ethers.js, for instance. All these things are baked into Contract Kit. Their strong value prop with Contract Kit is that with Celo, we have what's known as core contracts that are available. And a big difference between Celo and Ethereum is that Celo in itself, the actual utility token, is ERC20 compliant, whereas Ether is not. And so that creates some interesting challenges in the past, is like, how do we go ahead and take advantage of DeFi? And typically within Ethereum, you would go ahead and wrap Ether so that way you can utilize it for DeFi platforms. Well, with Celo, it's native, right? So you get to skip that. You can interact with Celo's utility token like any other ERC20 token. And one of the strongest advantages is also the ability to pay transaction fees in alternative tokens like CUSD, stable token, C Euro, and C Real. You can pay for transaction fees. So if you come up with a really cool project and your users don't have Celo utility tokens, that's okay. They still can transact if they have other value in their wallet. So one of the advantages of ContractKit is that you're getting fast access to the support for core contracts on our platform. Definitely take advantage of our docs, because in our docs, we have the ability to search on the top right, so you can type in core contracts. You can read and review all the good information about core contracts. And specifically with ContractKit, QR codes right here and the URLs on the bottom, that's going to take you directly to the documentation. Check out the kit. We give you quick access with code snippets to bootstrap your project quickly. I do want to mention general purpose library and what that means. General purpose library means that you get the advantage of this library both on the front end and for backend services, right? Like if you're developing in Node.js, you can take advantage of ContractKit. If you're going to be developing in React, Flutter, many of the other frameworks and so forth out there, front end, back end, you can utilize ContractKit, which brings me to my next topic. What if you just want to build as fast as possible, focusing on the mobile first world with React and React Native? It's like, well, webhooks are here, they simplify, and Celo saw the power of this. So Celo invested heavily in making sure that we have strong resources focused on the mobile first world, because we're obviously Celo's value props, not only on sustainability, but it's also a mobile first approach to blockchain services. Use ContractKit is another SDK. It's different than just ContractKit. Use ContractKit's really all about giving you the webhooks you need to speed up your development cycle for your project. It's by far the easiest way to access ContractKit within your React applications. Instead of having to configure your web components manually, it's done for you. So feel free to check this out. It's really a great resource. Least path of resistance, right? That's the theme. And again, check out the URL. It's right there in the bottom right, and the QR code. That's going to take you straight to the docs, where you're going to find a lot of useful information. So as you know, in the developer world of engineering, we depend on documentation. Take advantage of it. And we also have support. So that's what's cool about the Celo community. We have our Discord right there, tons of channels to get folks' attention. So if you need support, you can just call it out. So take advantage of it. But yes, this right here, use ContractKit, is going to be your arsenal for working with React applications. Next up, boy, it just jumped around. So sorry about that. Next up, I just kind of want to show like why that's important. Is like, use ContractKit, you get all the baked in tooling you need to effectively communicate with various wallets. And developing in Web3 initially, wallets, this was by far like one of the most friction for a developer is having compatibility with wallets and having a good wallet experience for your end user. So we try to alleviate that with use ContractKit by giving you the web components that both scale to the desktop and look beautiful on the mobile phone. And you notice on my screen shot right here, I started up with this example. And one thing I just wanted to share, a tip, is like, take advantage of the mobile mode in Chrome, because the mobile mode in Chrome, you can have your console up, you can have your logs, take advantage of log statements before you like really start tying in to the front end user interface, and you create a function, you put it into user interface. You have an iterative cycle that occurs, and it ends up costing you time because you're switching context between the logic of your application, the architecture, and then trying to tie in the user experience with the user interface. A lot of folks like to just jump straight into the GUI. And my advice is get it working, take advantage of text in a console output, and utilize the logs, right? Because then you can test out the functionality, iterate on that. When that's solid, that's a great time to start tying in the front end of your user interface and user experience. Okay, so to sum it up, use ContractKit is by far the easiest way for React application. It has flexible wallet support, and obviously all those web components are right there, and they're fully customizable for you with your application use case. And I think this is kind of goofy on my end. So sorry about my slide deck. I don't know if it's Zoom or my computer, but we also have a starter kit. So we're taking it another level further for you because we wanted to get you folks the tools that you need to get started as fast, right? Within 10 minutes, that's the goal. So here we have a starter kit. It's a modern progressive DApp starter kit, all geared towards ramping up your development cycle. The fantastic thing about this is that you're getting all those React components that I shared with you earlier with use contract kit in a boilerplate, right? This is really a boilerplate, a starter kit for you to get you started quickly and allowing you to reverse engineer. And that's really one of the thoughtful processes about this. Like, we want to inspire you to build applications, get through that early stage development cycle as quickly as possible so you can iterate effectively and allow you to reverse engineer so you can be inspired about what you're going to do next and how you're going to customize the boilerplate for your needs. So definitely check out the starter kit. This should point you straight to the repo with a QR code. And again, that URL, take note of it. One of the fastest ways to bootstrap your project. So a summary on this is, you want to get started quickly. This QR code is actually a YouTube video where Josh will walk you through how to utilize this kit, how to get it started. And he does so within 10 minutes. One thing to note is that it is a progressive web app as well, which means that you get to take advantage of your offline online caching of data on the local device and in the web browser on the desktops or tablets. This really helps out the mobile experience. When you think about mobile and Web3, we've had problems in Web 2 with connectivity where you would have low latency connections or you have interruptions with that connection, which breaks the user experience. And that's true today with Web 3 as well. So the advantage of a progressive web app is you get to combat that and craft your user experience by protecting it within the local device and cache those resources so they're readily available. It speeds up the access for your user experience when they're clicking through things, and instead of fetching another call, if that data is already there in the mobile device or on the browser, it just streamlines that and protects the user experience. So definitely take advantage like a progressive web app as you're going through it. And it's fully compatible too with Hard Hat and various React hooks that you can use for your project. So once again, this QR code just going to take you to getting started with that kit. And this is the QR code to access the starter kit. So fun. And the next step is like we have a command line interface tool. Super simple, right? In npm install, and you can make it global. You don't have to make it global, right? But for something like this tool's really meant to be global, ready for you to switch between the projects that you're working on. The coolest thing about this is that you can do stuff like access. It has ledger support, multi-sig support. You can access various governance mechanisms, so you can participate in on-chain voting, all right there in your command prompt without having to go to another online resource or whatnot. You can access and interact with contracts, participate in governance. And also my favorite part is the ability to do test accounts. Like I love just quickly doing test accounts. And this is just an example of that. Hopefully it shows on your screen here on this slide deck that I'm showing with a little animated GIF I created. Here I just created an account new. Brings it up, you get your private key, you get your wallet words, super fast and easy. Next, you just go ahead and type help. You can review all the potential offerings of the Celo CLI, which again is like everything that I shared with you earlier about Contract Kit, that's baked right into the Celo CLI as well. All these tools are wrapping up Contract Kit one way or another to give you as much flexibility as possible throughout your means for the way that you develop with your workflow. Next, the emphasis on documentation. Hey, we're working on this. Is like an evolving process where the goalpost keeps on moving, and we understand the challenge. We're working hard. We have a ton of resources for you where we migrated our docs to Docusaurus, We're constantly updating the content. We have a lot of tutorials in there to help you get started quickly. And there's useful external resources like partners. Like we have partners with Figment, who's done some great tutorials with examples that you can literally take like the smart contracts in those tutorials and rapidly play, prototype, invigorate your mindset, right? That's really what these resources are great for, is they invigorate your mindset to think about new ways that you can leverage tooling to contribute to your project development efforts. So go check out docs.celo.org. It's going to be by far the best way to gain the resources that you need. And I know I'm jumping around. That's because I see it freezing up on the slide here. So work with me. I'm so sorry again. I'm not going to apologize anymore on it because it's happened enough times. But we also have Java support. So you can get native Java support. If you're working on enterprise application development, you can plug it right in utilizing Java best practices. Even more importantly, you get to take this and do native development right within Android, because Android, originally was fully focused on Java. Now we have Kotlin, but you can merge the two. So I did set up an example on that, but this is the actual SDK made by a community member called BlazeTech. The URL is on the bottom right. Apologies for not having a QR code available on this. But we do have the ability for you to go ahead and take advantage of native development with Java. And that brings me to Android, right? I was playing around with it, and on the bottom right, I have my GitHub URL, which just takes you through a quick example of incorporating that Java SDK into Android native development, where you can persist wallet details, query the Celo blockchain, and also in the example is like I put in there security best practices, like when you're serializing data between classes, you want that data to be protected and encrypted. And I put the information in there on that as well, if you're interested in Android development. But we also have Swift iOS. So Celo's investing more and more into more tools to enhance your development experience with the way that you want to shape the needs for your product offering. Not everybody wants to just do React Native. Some folks want unique value props with native development APIs, like sensors that might not be available through React Native. Now you have full access to the hardware abstraction layer. That's really what the value is of native development, is gaining access to that hardware abstraction layer. So Swift iOS is available now. The URL again on the bottom right-hand corner, where you can go ahead and experiment and be able to transact with our blockchain. Next up, we have GoLang. Like this is really quite typical in the EVM world, because if you've been around and you know about Ethereum, Geeth is the typical go-to. If you're going to set up a node, you're going to compile Geeth, and you'll be able to kick off a node. If you want to set up a local archive, you can do that as well. You could do a lot of unique things. And the cool part is Celo really invested a lot into the strategy of iterating on the fork, and that's all prevalent right here in this repository. When you compile Geeth, you have different command lines, flags that will allow you to make your compilation more efficient for your needs. For instance, you can compile it for Android. It's super flexible. You can build it from source, or you can download a precompiled version. The nice thing about this is if you want to set up a node mix environment, you could do that. If you're trying to set up something customizable with an RPC endpoint, that's there. So definitely a resource to check into. How to and where to get started, I've already shared, like docs is the go-to. You want to go to docs.celo.org, and we have tutorials, which you'll find in the docs, by the way. They're there, so you really don't have to go to another URL, but just in case you want to jump straight to some quick little tutorials, that's going to be docscelo.org/blog. And that's pretty much it, Justin. I just want to give folks some information on how to gain access to these tooling. And it all centrally points to docs.celo.org. I know I shared some other resources to repos, but nonetheless, that's pretty much it on this screen share, I'm going to stop right here. We do have Devrel at Celo.org. So if you did want to try reaching out through email, be our guest, but most of us prefer getting pinged on Discord. We have a lot of folks in there. So if you like call out for my attention on Discord, another member of my team is most likely going to help out, and then they'll get my attention and bring me into the conversation. So yeah, don't hesitate, communicate with the community. If you don't think you're getting enough attention, that's where Devrel at Celo.org really helps out. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing right here. Now, I would like to go ahead and hand this off, Chang Ben, and I would love to hear about ways that we can leverage additional resources.
Yep. Thanks, Brandy, for that sharing. I think this will be a good opportunity for me to bring Champing on. Just sharing on screen.
Hey, I'm back.
Yes. Hi. Yep. So I think this is a great opportunity for Champing to also share from Huobi's perspective in terms of how the participants could actually get going and get started when it comes to some of the toolings or resources that they can actually help along.
Yeah, and firstly, thanks for the host, and thanks for the work that Celo has to the community, and the contract kits and SDKs and IDEs are so convenient for the developers, and the developer will love you guys, and you have to do so much. Wonderful job. And I'm Chang Bin from Huobi, and we had some experience in developing infrastructure like a blockchain like Hackathon and other blockchains, and we had also got some experience in developing a ZK rollup and other DApps. So my presentation is about emerging DApps and the infrastructure evolution. And first, I will try to because I'm responsible for several DApps, DApp technical teams. So I'm very excited about the apps, and the most exciting the apps I'm looking forward to first is the DeFi 2.0. And when speaking about 2.0, we have something advanced. So we have the DeFi applications should care about care so much about the capital efficiency, and you should bring more idea from the traditional finance. And the second is NFT, and I proposed I suggest that we monitor this industry from the whole life cycles, from pre-mint to mint and sell and hold. And as we know, OpenSea is doing great in sale process period, and in pre-mint, mint, and hold. In the three steps, there are no dominators. Yet there's a lot of there are a lot of opportunities, and the BAYC and Empress, this kind of new innovative IP licensing protocol and NFTs PFPs are very interesting too. You guys can look into these projects. BAYC's turns is really awesome for the new Web3 era. And firstly, I will talk about the GameFi 2.0. As we know, in the last year, there were some mining games in Binance Smart Chain and in Ethereum and other chains. So it had aroused a lot of attention and had attracted many TVL, a lot of TVLs, but it crashed in final it crashed. So the GameFi should have to evolution to the 2.0. That means that the 3A games and coming to the blockchain. In in my knowledge, there are a lot of 3A game developed studios are making their own blockchain GameFi games in these days, and they will release in late this year. And we were looking forward to a big boom of this area. And the last part is the DID and social fi. As we know, this is a hard area in these days. But actually, I don't think the dApps we have seen really get the real attention, or really get really satisfy the developers or the users needs. They are just try to simulate a new website in like Twitter in Web3 and Facebook in Web3, but I don't think that will work. I think the protocols and should be crypto native and consider a lot about the crypto native experience and original from the crypto world. Okay, this is the emerging dApps in my. As you know, blockchain has about 1 billion. It's about 0.1 billion users in these days. This data is come from MetaMask users, and there are about 0.1 billion users in this for this wallet for this wallet. And from its curve, from its growing curve, we can see that in the next few years it will come to 1 billion users. And in order to support this kind of new users, coming new users, the new infrastructures should be brought to the stage, like the infrastructure like Celo and Hackathon and other infrastructures, even more infrastructures should bring to the stage to support the user, to support the user's experience. So based on the experience our team has that we develop and operate several blockchains, several scale ups, and a lot of the apps, the apps of billions and millions of users. I'd like to talk a lot of the investors. First, there's a blockchain industry, and we can use the decentralized we can solve the problem, improve centralization and is there
Hi, sorry, Chumping. I think you are breaking up a little bit. Hi, Chumping. I think you are breaking up a little bit. Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. No, I think there's some connectivity. No, I can't. You're kind of breaking up.
Switch off my video sharing.
Yeah, I think it's better now. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the And we proposed all the architecture for basically separate responsibility and decision accordingly. And we first into three layers in and and the top execution the execution layer is optimization. Consensus and the layer storage. And we like to propose a new for the markets. We do have
Hi, Chanbin. Maybe you would like to restart your sharing. Probably just join this in a bit.
Yeah, I stop the sharing and
Yep. So yeah. Yeah. So let's just give Chanbin a little bit of time to get the technical part sorted out. And apologies on that. You know, things with internet sometimes connectivity could be some of an issue. Yeah. So in the meantime, while we kind of get Chanbin to just sort out his connectivity matters, maybe I think it's a good opportunity for the folks over here to ask any questions that Brandy could kind of support in the meantime. You know, feel free to kind of take on any questions that we do have.
Hey, can you hear me?
But if not, yeah, in the meantime, maybe Brandy, you would like to take a minute to kind of share with the ground a
try
bit.
to continue?
Well, I what a bummer. Like I was really enjoying the slide deck and the philosophy and GameFi 2.0. Like, well, I'm certainly excited about not where we're at so much. Just I'm excited about the future of what we're building to. The impact of NFTs is far more than art, and I love the uniqueness that you can do with NFTs. Like earlier, we had a Discord talk where we had a conversation, or I had a conversation with Climate Collective, and we went over things like fractionalized NFTs and the importance of NFTs in regards to data when it comes down to supply chain management with like carbon credits. So there's so many cool things that you can do when you see things like NFTs and folks talked about them. Don't think that it's just limited to one specific vertical. It's such a large spectrum. Blockchain by design is focused on data and messaging. And that's something I just want to touch base on, because as you see information from Huobi, and you see information from Celo, you see these other projects, and you're wondering how you can fit in information about, or not information, how you can solve a problem with your project. Like you can think outside the box. If you're using something with data and you want to do fractionalize, where you take one thing and you're fractionalizing it, like you can do that with NFTs, and you can create something unique with a smart contract with its call functions. Okay, it looks like Chanbin's back up. I'll quit talking. I just want to jump in here and share the love, you know.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brandy, to kind of get that up. Chanbin is back up, so
yeah,
I'll just pass the time back.
Yeah, sorry for the bad connection. I'll try to sue my operators.
Yep, no worries about that.
Okay. We talk about we like to propose a new roll up to the market, and as we know, there are two types of roll up in the market: optimistic roll up and ZK roll up. And there's some flaws in these two roll ups, and the long finalization for the optimistic roll up, and there are no production available ZK EVM for ZK roll up. and we'd like to propose a collaborative roll-up that is based on a committee. It's on a committee that we can randomly choose random sequences for the multiple candidates, and we separate the nodes into execution node and endorsement node, and an endorsement can be compressed by using the BOS, and we can solve the problem that we have met in the market, so something like a single sequencer failure for Arbitrum and in another, and there is no ZK EVM. So, and in the settlement layer, we like to introduce the chaos consensus, and it is actually as a hybrid block producing, producing validators set generation, and we have choose the validators from the ranking of staking and by the MPC scheme PVSS, and we have modified and we have remodified the we have reoccupied we have rewrite the pipe the serial process of a block finalization to a pipeline BFT procedure to make that this blockchain can handle several blockchain in the pipeline. And when we're talking about a DA layer, this is very important in these days because when we're holding a ZK roll up, and we will cost you the gas that put to put the raw data to the Ethereum mainnet will take you 99% of the cost of the network operation. So the DA layer should be separate from the settlement layer. So we have the separate DA layer. We do make data sharding. As we know, when talking about DA, this most important as the data availability verification. How to verify that the data is still in the node. So there are mainly two types in the market. In the market, and firstly, KZZ commitments using zero knowledge proof, and it's a fraud proof proposed by Celestia. But both of them are rely on full nodes. That means that there are thousands of nodes in this network, but it will not increase the storage capacity of this network. So we propose a data sharding schemes, and we have verified random sampling schemes, and we separate the nodes into separate categories. And first is light node, second is sampling node as the full nodes. And finally, we will propose a new crossing protocol called time crossing, which will enable us to enable the D-app interaction by cross-channel mechanism. And finally, this is a roadmap. We'll release this project we have working on and we will propose. We will release it to the market in the coming months. And thanks a lot for hearing, and thanks a lot for your patience, and thanks a lot. Sorry a lot for the back connection, and back to the host.
All right. Thanks, Champin, for the sharing on your end. I think at this opportunity over here is really to get everyone have a first step in terms of how you can really get started for this hackathon from both Celo's and Huobi's perspective in terms of the resourcing and the tools that you can actually leverage on. Really thank you for Brandy and Champin for really working on with the content to share with the audience tonight. Tonight my time, and to kind of get things going as well. So probably just a quick question to Brandy is that where for a beginner, for someone that is really new in the ecosystem, or to Web3 in general, where does one actually go to understand more on, reducing carbon footprint or climate change consideration in this case?
Yeah, well, with climate focus, I would like to share, read the docs. Docs.celo.org is great to understand our blockchain. You're a beginner, you have a platform, you want to understand what layer you're working with. We're layer one. So first thing you want to do is understand the protocol, right? And the resources available by reviewing the docs. The next step, when you're talking about climate change and trying to be carbon focused. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of feedback.
Yep. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of echo there. Thank you so much. You solved it. So when it comes to carbon offsets and carbon credits, there's a project that's on Celo called Fly Wallet, where it creates an NFT contract. You can purchase airline tickets. It calculates the offsets, and it utilizes carbon credits. And there's a Toucan token contract that occurs. So Toucan is a great provider in regards to services for carbon offsets. So you want to check out Toucan. That's Toucan, Toucan. They're a fantastic project. I'd be looking at all the various projects, of course, in Discord, our Discord in the community for this hackathon. There's channels in there in regards to regenerative finance. Definitely check out those channels, go poke around and collaborate with folks. There's tons of folks in there that are really interested in making an impact on climate initiatives. When it comes to climate focus, we like to look at where we're going to have our largest impact, and that's going to be on refi, which can be confusing, the term refi. Am I going to refinance my house? No, this is regenerative finance, okay? Regenerative finance, that's how you're going to have sustainability in place for our trajectory on the Web3. We really want to make a strong impact on this. So we've been partnering up with various projects to have meaningful effort. We want these projects to empower the community, so they have great documentation. Toucan's one of them. Check out Climate Collective, climatecollective.org. That's a great place to go to start digging into information about carbonization and the way that you can reduce your risk. There's so many projects. You kind of put me on the spot, and I wasn't fully ready on that topic, but I do want to say that there's also plastic with a K. That's instead of plastic with a C, like plastic cup. There's a project called Plastic. I would suggest looking into that. That's plastic with a K. Some really cool tools to help out with your carbon focused projects or climate focused project. Regenerative finance is a new way to utilize DeFi with carbon offset offerings, right? And it's not just carbon offset offerings. There's so many ways that you can do a take on this world of trying to do good and with a focus on climate. We have, geospatial, which is another take on geofencing. You have Astro Protocol, which is doing a bit of a registry, so that way you can take carbon offset from trees. And it's well, how can you guarantee that you don't have two trees when you really only have one tree? You get, there's this risk right now with carbons and the auditability of them. And so the unique thing about regenerative finance is now we can have transparency with these carbon credits and how they're working. And there's this thing called MRV, which is a measured reporting verification. So that's something else to check into, is that these companies and the organizations that issue their carbon credits, they're going through a process with a registry saying, hey, I have this in the tree example. Hey, I have this lot of land. It has one tree. I'm just going to keep it super simple. It has one tree. I want to issue a carbon credit because it's reducing carbon around, whatever it might be. So they put down the registry. They can't put on another tree on there because they only have one tree. And there is ways to help make sure that you can safeguard and have that in an audible format and transparent with the blockchain. And that's what's exciting to me. Today, we have a lot of work to make traction on this front. There's solid traction, but what's exciting is like in the next 2 to 5 years, pretty soon, we anticipate that most of the traditional folks in the climate world with their initiatives, they're going to be segueing to blockchain services.
Nice. Thanks, Brandy,
You're
for
welcome.
the information. And it's really useful information, right? For all those who have really get started. And I believe sustainability has been a talk a while, about, care for our climate, care for our earth. But I think it's really great that when it comes to this new ecosystem or new technology, which is the Web3 domain, I think people are just probably going to have a little bit of a difficulty when it comes to, combining these two together as well. And it's really great, right? This hackathon in itself is a really great opportunity for us to start exploring. And, people from Celo, people from Huobi would really be there to help assist in that conversation, to kind of help brainstorm and to bring different ideas together as well. And I think that's what the beauty of the hackathon is, for what we are trying to do here as well. So maybe let me quickly to kind of wrap up. Last reminder that basically this hackathon itself is actually ongoing. We have actually quick kickstart 2 days ago, and this is going to be a 4 weeks long hackathon with lots of prize money up for grabs as well, and various tracks to kind of look at. But really, first and foremost, it's really for anyone out there to kind of start registering for the hackathon, which is an entry ticket for prizes, for the resources, additional tooling that Brandy have actually shared. Changbin has actually shared earlier on, with regards to what you can look at from both Celo and Huobi's perspective as well. And this is also an opportunity for mostly to qualify yourself for the prizes as you submit your ideas for the various track that we have out there. Do join the Celo Discord server. That's going to be where everyone will be around to assist you, to help build your projects, to ideate as well if you face any issues that you have. And most importantly, to save the hackathon calendar, because we still have lots more of the content that we do have out there in the couple of weeks coming. So really do look forward to all your participation for tonight, for the hackathon in itself. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, Brandy and Changbin, for joining us today. We really appreciate that sharing the content that you have put it out there as well. And for those joining us live on other channels, we will have it ready on AngelHack's YouTube as well. So do keep a lookout on our space, and just make sure that you don't miss any of the content session that's going to be shared tonight.
Thank you so much, Justin, for organizing this and helping us get the community together and educate to make a contribution to supporting them, right? And it's really about supporting the community. And I love what you're doing there at AngelHack, supporting us. And a big thank you to the Huobi and team. Just wanted to give a shout out of thanks. Really appreciate the time.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Please take care. Catch you around in a few days' time.
Will
Bye-bye.
do. Bye.
Bye-bye. See you.